We're back in the Popwood shop, and our tip today is about routers, a very popular subject with everybody, and why not? Because it's a really good tool. So let's take a look at a piece that's on almost every plunge router out there. I'd almost say every plunge router out there that a lot of people don't really take advantage of, and that's the turret depth stop. There's one on each of these, one here and one here, and there's slight differences, and we'll talk about each, but let's first talk about why it's there and what it's good for. The turret depth stop is all about setting a depth for how deep your router bit plunges during the plunge routing operation. Now, in most cases, if you're doing intarsia or inlay work or anything like that, you want to start with the bit zeroed or flat to the tabletop surface. So that's what most of the starting position is for the turret depth stop. So if we push this down and it's flat against the table, we lock this knob down here, or unlock in this case, and what we want to do is we're going to move this rod down to touch, it could be any one of these stops. In this case, we'll use the tallest one, and that's our 0. See how it pushes actually? So we want to set it to there and lock it. Now that is the 0 set. The next time we bring it down, because we've tightened this down, the router bit is going to stop right at the surface of the tabletop and not go any deeper. So that's our 0 setting. Now, if we want to go deeper, we can turn the turret depth stop, and you'll hear a click. And this one is soft, but it's there. Okay? And that is the next setting. Now when we come down, because of this setting, depending on the height that you've set these for, and there's a lock nut so you can reset this. This is probably about 1/8 of an inch. Now you'll see it won't go down any further because we've got the bit zeroed at the table. But if the router is running, this will be allowed to go down and touch that, and we'll go 1/8 of an inch deeper than we did with this one. You can set these to any setting you want and go as deep as you want without having to stop the router and reset the depth of the bit every time you're running. Let's take a look at the other router turret. This turret depth stop has multiple stops, more than the 3 on the other router. 2 of them are actually factory set. They don't adjust, these 2 guys. But the other 2 that are here have the same kind of nut and adjustment so that you can make it whatever height you want. And there's actually space for a 3rd there as well. So you could have 5 different settings on this. And there's actually one down here that's pretty far as well. So you've got 6 settings on this one. That's pretty good. The rod on this one is pretty much the same idea, but a little less fine adjustment. This one works more with gravity and pretty much just drops down to where you want it. Now it does have a scale on it, as does the other one. You can see right here that this knob can adjust to the scale so you can keep track of how far you're going down with your different settings. Once you've got it where you want it, turn it in place, and again, you've got multiple stops. You can keep running your router without turning it off and checking your depth each time. So this is a great advantage for the plunge router. So take advantage of your turret depth stop. The next time you're using a plunge router, make it much more efficient.